Kyle Chapman, aka Stickman, fights Jonny Benitez, with commentary from both. Okay folks, I asked, why did I ask? And you replied that you wanted to see this video, so here we go. I actually don't want to do this video because it's boring to me and it's beside the point of my channel. I care about principles and have little to no knowledge and no interest in interpersonal conflicts unless it's consequential to freedom and or equality. Because that's what my channel is concerned with, among other things of course, but certainly it's not concerned with infighting or personal squabbles. But I did ask, and you did say yes. If you care about this incident, then likely you already know who Kyle and Jonny are. At any rate, I have already introduced these guys in previous videos. Why did these two fight? Well, I'll let them address that in their own words. I will play you video of this fight from two different angles, then I will play you commentary about this fight from both Kyle Chapman and Jonny Benitez. First, here's the incident from Jonny Benitez's phone.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if Kyle's supposed to be back here.
He's right there.
Oh.
Hi.
What's up?
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How you doing, motherfucker?
I heard somewhere you were going to greenlight me.
Yeah, you already greenlighted. Why don't we walk outside and have a talk?
You want to kiss me, Kyle?
Yeah, why don't we walk outside and have a talk?
You want to kiss me?
Why don't we walk outside and have a talk, you little bitch?
You're really pushing me, Kyle.
Yeah, why don't we walk outside and have a talk?
This is kind of assault there, Kyle.
Why don't we walk outside and have a talk? Just you and me. This is right here, yeah.
You're really touching me, Kyle.
Why don't we walk outside and have a talk?
You're really putting your hands on me, Kyle.
Huh?
This is kind of assault.
Why? Because what are you going to do? What are you going to do, huh?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You said you greenlighted me.
Huh?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You headbutted me. Now you've done all this thing. You did.
I didn't headbutt you.
You absolutely did. I didn't get up on your face.
We go outside and have a talk.
We were talking over there.
What are you going to do? You going to snitch?
Am I going to snitch? Snitch on
call
what?
the cops?
Snitch on what?
Get snitch or something?
What are you talking about?
You're a rat, dude.
I'm a rat.
Bitch. Yeah, you little bitch, boy.
Am I? You just touched me again. That's assault again.
I just pointed at you.
What are you going to do?
I pointed at you.
I didn't say
He's trying to gouge my eyes out.
Huh? Are you done? You done yet? Huh?
Get him off me.
eyes out. Who did your hands out? Who is it?
Are you gouging his eyes out?
Huh?
Yeah,
Gouging
he's
his
fucking
eyes?
putting his fingers in my eyes.
What are you doing that for?
Because he hit me.
Because you got in his face. You hit it with your head. You hit it with your head, dude.
Where's my phone?
Here's yours.
This guy just tried to gouge my fucking eyes out.
Come on, why don't we go outside and just finish this?
Why don't we go outside?
Huh? Why don't we just sit?
Now, here's the incident from someone else's phone.
You're really pushing me, Kyle. This is assault, Kyle. You're really touching me, Kyle. You're really putting your hands on me, Kyle. This is kind of assault.
What's going on?
What are you going to do? You said you greenlighted me. What are you going to do? You headbutted me. Now you're going to stand. You did.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, you got your
Shut
phone
the
up?
fuck up.
Or else what?
Or else you fucking stay out of it. You're good. Yeah, I can turn my back to you because you're nothing, dude. Yeah. Yeah, you're nothing. Yeah, you're nothing. That's what you are.
What are you going to do? I didn't say I was.
Did you walk in with your phone?
He's trying to gouge my eyes out.
Hey,
Get him off me. He's trying to gouge my fucking eyes out. Get your hands off him, dude. Are you gouging his eyes out?
Huh?
Yeah,
Are you gouging his eyes out?
his fingers in my eyes.
What are you doing that for?
Because he hit me.
Because you got in his face. You hit him with your head. You hit him with your head, dude.
Where's my phone?
Here's yours.
This guy just tried to gouge my fucking eyes out.
Come on, why don't we go outside and just finish this
Why
up?
don't we go outside?
Huh? Why don't we just sit and finish it up?
Kyle, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You just tried to gouge my eyes out.
Why don't we just finish it up? Come on.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Kyle?
What is wrong with you?
You fucking socked me.
Yeah, you got
You
his
took my
face.
phone.
Motherfucker.
You headbutted me, and you
I didn't
kept
fucking
pushing me.
headbutt you.
You did.
I didn't fucking headbutt you.
You headbutted me, and then you pushed me. Like, look how far you pushed me. I was over there.
Look at these guys. Coming here trying to start shit, stir up shit. Wow.
Yeah.
This guy's not good.
Hey. Come on. Let's talk.
By the way, here's Jonny Benitez's Twitter feed around this time, and apparently this is his back after the fight. Okay, now here's what Jonny Benitez had to say about this incident.
Now, let's move on to base Stickman and the merchant right, which is a subject that I have been beating to death. And this is probably the last I'm going to talk about it, because from what I've seen, Kyle Chapman's whole, profile has been destroyed. He's been completely exposed. So what I'm going to do here, because a lot of you don't read or don't want to read, is basically go from the history of who base Stickman is. So, base Stickman's first felony was taking a pellet gun, making it look like a regular gun, and pointing it. And I didn't even find out that he pointed it at a woman. I thought he had pointed it at a man. Not only did he rob somebody at gunpoint, he did it to a fucking woman. Now, this is a guy who has been representing himself as a libertarian. Now, libertarians have no ideology other than the supposed respect for private property. And they think that, if you have a respect for private property rights, then your whole society will go well as long as you adhere to that strictly. How can you say that you are anything approaching a libertarian if you pointed a gun at a woman and demanded her private property? Now, the second crime he committed, after that, he committed robbery again. He robbed a Macy's. Now, here's one thing I want you to consider. Robbery is an easy crime to get away with. If I point a gun at somebody and they give me their property, the police have a real hard time finding who that person is. So there were probably a lot of victims before he got caught. And then he robbed a Macy's and got caught for that. And then after that, voluntary purse snatching. And then after that, he did the worst crime, what I consider to be the worst crime, because you guys know, since the very beginning, my thing has been demography. And the way that we most effectively affect demography is immigration. And what did Kyle Chapman do? He sold guns to Hispanic street gangs. Now, I know that mostly they kill each other, they kill blacks, but the reality is they kill people. People die. You don't know who's walking down the street. We have no way of knowing how many Americans and white Americans are dead as a result of the guns that Kyle Chapman sold to Hispanic street gangs. And actually, if you're a Hispanic, if you're a Latino, if you're a person of color, you should be extra pissed. Because here's a white guy selling violence into your community in an illegal way. If these people meant to do good things with their guns and do the Second Amendment thing, they do it the legal way. But they didn't. They got it through Chapman. Those are street gangs, and they probably killed people. Do you have gay porn on your iPhone like Stickman's been saying? I'll tell you this. That is ridiculous. Answer me this. Kyle Chapman said I'm an infiltrator. If anything, he's an infiltrator. Kyle Chapman's number 2 person is who? Base tranny. Somebody whose number 2 people, yes, I'm a Iberian. Someone whose number 2 people are both trannies has no room talking about degeneracy. So let's not worry about that. Now, some people criticize me, not too many, but some people criticize me because they thought I would stop at Kyle Chapman. But Kyle Chapman is not really the problem. I mean, he's the main symptom of the problem. The real problem is the merchant right. The whole idea. Now, I've been a part of social movements my whole life, obviously not right-wing, but social movements. And the technology that we have now has empowered people to do this really shitty thing, which is take advantage of social movements. Basically, just making money. That's all they care about. Now, look, there are people who have GoFundMes. I've had GoFundMes. I've made about $500 off of GoFundMe, and there's other people that get it. Here is what separates people from being people who are being activists, who are getting donations from the merchant right. People who have a goal, who have an ideology, who are doing things, and who are putting those donations towards doing those things, those people are not merchants. That's not who I'm referring to. But these Joey Gibsons, These fucking Kyle Chapmans. Kyle Chapman has made over $100,000 just on that one GoFundMe. He sold a shitload of shirts. He sold fucking these shields that cost like $10 to make for $50. He has made a ridiculous amount of money off this movement. He hasn't put a cent back into it. That is the merchant right. Selling plushies, what do you need it for? Conning people, that is a con. He tried to make people believe that the reason that his fucking his bail is so high is because he is like being targeted as this right-wing person. No, your bail's not high because you're a right-winger. Your bail is high because you fled bail on your last conviction, and you have 10 years in prison. You have, like, if you would have done this at the right time, you would be a lifer. This would be the 3-strike rule. You would be gone forever in California, and the nation would be better for it. So that is a merchant. Yeah. So he did all of those crimes. A lot of people don't know this. Kyle Chapman was off parole for only 2 months before he became base stickman. Now, people criticize me because I was a leftist and I turned right. But at the end of the day, I stayed consistent. My entire adult life, I have been someone who, when I feel something is important, a political cause is important, once I read a book that puts me in the right direction, or hear somebody speak, or just get an idea that makes sense to me, I commit to it and I do everything. I lived in a fucking tent for a year because I was pissed off about the TARP bailouts. That's why I was engaged in Occupy. I was fucking pissed off about corporate communism. I lived in a tent for a year. So when I make sacrifices for a movement, that's not something new for me. I've done that my whole life because I'm an ideological zealot, and I'm proud of it. But Kyle Chapman is somebody who spent 10 years in prison for victimizing people. He fucking victimized other human beings for his personal gain. So when you tell me that all of a sudden this guy who robbed a woman at gunpoint, who robbed a Macy's, who sold guns to illegal street gangs, all of a sudden cares about people so much that he's going to go out and risk his health and safety to go stop like people shutting down Milo, that's fucking bullshit. He's a fucking fed. Get the fuck out of here. Like at 40 years old, all of a sudden Kyle Chapman grew a conscience and he's going from robbing people to standing up for them? Get the fuck out of here. Who is stupid enough to buy that? The only reason we bought it is because none of us looked into his criminal history. We all thought maybe he made a mistake and then he got out and he made better, because I do believe in redemption. I don't care if you're a degenerate. I don't care how degenerate you were. You could probably not be more degenerate than I was in my early 20s. And I developed. What matters is that we eliminate degeneracy. And so that is the thing. But he continues to be a degenerate. He's cheating on his fucking wife. He's fucking going out there and fucking Haley Adams and these gross-ass people. There's a bunch of women. There are 4 women who have come to me telling me about times that he has either groped them or inappropriately tried to fuck them. This is a disgusting human being. The worst. The absolute worst we could find. And think about yourself. If you were the FBI, what kind of guy do you want? What kind of guy... Well, let me fix that for you. Now you don't have to listen to me. What kind of person do you want? Well, you want somebody that you have a lot to hold over. You want somebody that you have a lot over their head. And who better than some guy who a parking ticket will result in like a fucking, yeah. By the way, funny story, that one that always stands up for him, Valentina Bankhead, her husband actually points guns to her head because he's so jealous. So I'm pretty sure at some point he's going to blow her head off over this whole thing. And it's, I feel bad. But that's who this person is. And these are who all these people are. Nick Ryan, one of his best guys, one of his best friends, who recently came out, and he posted a screenshot of a text where they're talking about doing drugs like degenerates, right? And he posted it to basically make him look bad. But Nick Ryan is one of his best friends. And this guy also has gotten in trouble in the law over drugs, over selling drugs. Luke Dennis has sold fucking marijuana without paying his taxes for over 10 fucking years. All degenerates, all criminals, all disgusting. Anyway, that's the saga. That's what you need to know about Kyle Chapman. The reason I said that Fedman, base stickman, is a Fed is not because of what he says or does. It's because he's committed crimes and he hasn't been held accountable for them. That is suspicious. If somebody has committed a bunch of crimes, look, Kyle Chapman should be scared shitless. With someone with that many priors, a parking ticket is like 5 years if they get one, right? And so, the reason I think he's a Fed is simply because he's committed a bunch of assaults. He's assaulted not just a bunch of left-wingers. Augustus Invictus correctly said this the other day. He attacked a bunch of fucking right-wingers, too. At this point, Kyle Chapman has attacked more people on the right than he has attacked commies. And he hasn't been held accountable for it. He, fully what he did, he should be in prison right now, and he's not. That's why.
Okay, now here's what Kyle Chapman had to say about this fight.
Just the other night with Jonny Benitez. Jonny Benitez, who has threatened to shoot me, stab me in the neck, and do all sorts of other violent shit to me, shows up at the GOP convention with a little phone in his pocket, recording, actually periscoping onto his Twitter account saying, hey, let's see what Base Stickman's going to do, basically. And he comes over, he says, hey, I heard you were going to green light me. My instant reaction was, okay, there's going to be a problem here. I need to get this guy out of the main part of the lobby into or outside, so if there is an altercation, there isn't a fight going down in the middle of the Marriott, all right, at the GOP convention. It's like the last thing I would possibly want. As I'm shouldering him or chesting him towards the door, okay, yeah, I was getting in his face, I ain't gonna lie. But as I'm chesting him towards the door, he socks me, he throws the first punch, I take him down, I restrain him, maybe my thumb slipped in his eye, whatever, and it was over, all right? The police deemed it mutual combat because all these witnesses that saw Jonny Benitez throw the first punch, and it was mutual combat. Both of us were cited and released. Okay, so we both have court dates we have to go back to for misdemeanor mutual combat. I did not headbutt Jonny Benitez, and like I said, he threw the first punch. If you watch closely, if you watch the video closely, you can hear the punch land, and there's a video out there. I'll be posting it. Didn't want to have to do this, but there's a video out there that clearly shows my head getting knocked back to the side when he throws the first punch. His whole point of showing up that night was to try to get me to do something to assault him so then he could press charges on me and potentially get my bail revoked. I'm on a $135,000 bail for what I've been charged for at the first Battle of Berkeley. All right. So I'll go ahead and continue going down the list here. I really hate doing this, guys, but it's got to be done. He says I like to do drugs. He says I'm a druggie and a degenerate. Okay. I'm actually a health and fitness nut. I eat non-GMO organic food. I work out 5 days a week. I don't always look like it because I'm a little chubby right now, still dropping the weight. The knees give me a lot of problems, so it's giving me problems with cardio. But I am a health and fitness nut. I ain't got no time for drugs, never have. This is what I take on a daily basis for supplements. I'm telling you, I'm a health and fitness nut. Drugs have no place in my life. So Jonny Benitez, towards the end of the video, he talks about people being a sucker for supporting me. When this guy has chosen to support one of the most blatant infiltrators in the entire movement, known as Jonny Benitez. Jonny Benitez is on record as a leftist who just a year ago was trying to create an Antifa chapter. He's on record saying he was going to infiltrate the right, split the base, drive a hard alt-right, racially based platform, and basically give the leftists all the optics they need to say, hey, yeah, Trump supporters are racist, look over here. And then that's where you see Mr. Juan Cavadid, a.k.a. Jonny Benitez. The guy's had like 6 different names. Doing his book burnings. The guy wanted to do a degenerate 1930s style book burning in Laguna. He wanted to go and protest a Holocaust book remembrance, like reading deal, where they go out there and boycott it. Like, these are the sort of things that the media loves to grab a hold of and then say, look, they are anti-Semite, they are Nazis, they are racist, you know, and then they have all this fodder. They have all this information. So, he is a sucker for aligning himself with one of the biggest shills, the biggest frauds in the entire movement. Where I'm at, I want all people to come together regardless of race. I don't care if you're a fucking tranny. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian. It doesn't matter. We got to come together as patriots. That's the only way it works. If we get stuck on this racial division, we lose. We need to bring on everyone to fight these people. We need to build a massive army. And I'm not going to turn my back on my brother or my fellow patriot because of the color of his skin. I've met too many people that are willing to bleed and die for this movement that are not white. And they are warriors. They are down for the cause. That's where I'm at. So, and then the most popular allegation is that I'm a Fed. Let me go ahead and explain to you how ridiculous this is. So, if you're a federal informant, what the feds do is they hold a case over your head, and then they make you go out there, collect information, set people up, and once you've satisfied them in the amount of information you've collected or the amount of people that you've set up, then they throw your charges out. I have already been indicted. I have been put on a $135,000 bail. If I was working for the feds, they would have never indicted me. What they would have done is they would have built a case. They would have invited me into their office. They would have a dossier like this, and they would have gone, okay, Mr. Chapman, we've got all this dirt on you. We need you to go to work for us. You produce enough information, you bring us enough people, set enough people up, we're going to throw all this stuff out. All right? You don't indict the confidential informant you're trying to get to work for you. You lose your leverage with the indictment. Why am I going to work for you if you've already indicted me and you're charging me and I got to fight it in court? The leverage is gone. So of course I'm not a Fed. It's fucking ridiculous. It's people's total ignorance in regards to how the legal system works.
So, folks, what do you think? Discuss among yourselves in the comments section, because I don't care enough to really join you in on that. As always, there are links for everything in the video description below, including a link to my video with more of that live stream from Kyle Chapman in which he addresses ethno-nationalism and racism and etc., titled Kyle Chapman, Based Stickman, on Racism, Ethno-Nationalism, the Alt-Right, the New Right, and more. Okay, folks, until next time, love, life, light, liberty, and leaping laughter. Thanks for watching.